Here is the box for the iPad mini. It certainly appears to be a mini box. iPad mini on the side, some spec information, nothing overly exciting going on there. Let's go ahead and open it up. We'll take out the buffalo knife and we will cut some plastic. I have not seen one of these guys yet in person, so I'm very curious to see what it looks like, how it feels, and how the screen looks. So go ahead and peel off the top of it. And boom! There is the iPad mini sitting there waiting to be manhandled. Go ahead and push it off to the side for just a real quick second. See what else we're gonna get in the box. We've got, looks to be almost the iPhone, a little charger with the green dot, letting you know it's not gonna electrocute you. Designed by Apple in California with quick start guide, iPad mini, and some Apple stickers. Of course, the lightning connector for charging and syncing, and that is about it. So here is the iPad mini. This is our 16 gigabyte model. Gonna go from 16 to 64 gigs and Wi-Fi with 4G as an option. Pricings are gonna range from $329 all the way to $659, depending on which version you want to get. Let's go ahead and peel off the plastic here. Boom. So this is a new backing for iPad. It's got sort of a slate back to it. Feels very nice. It feels more iPhone 5-ish than iPad like on the back. Let's go ahead and run through the specs. So from a dimension standpoint, we're looking at 7.87 inches by 5.3 inches by a very thin 0.28 inches. And it weighs 6.8 pounds. The screen here is 7.9 inches. That's excluding the bezel. IPS technology, it's 1024 by 768. Same screen as in the original iPad and the iPad 2. 163 PPI, so all apps and games that worked on the original iPad and the iPad 2 should look great on here as well. We're gonna have a 16.3 watt hour battery, gonna give you about 10 hours of use. Powering this guy is a familiar dual core A5 chip at 1 gigahertz, 512 gigs of RAM. 2 iSight cameras live in here. In the upper left-hand corner, we've got one that's a 5 megapixel job that can shoot 1080p video. We've got a FaceTime HD camera for showing you a face. That's 1.2 megapixels, and that can shoot 720p. New to this model is a Sprint version, joining AT&T and Verizon if you opt for that one. You're gonna have to wait a week or two before you can get the 4G version. We got Bluetooth, no NFC. Interestingly enough too, on the 4G version, it's going to use a nano SIM. So we've got dual speakers here on the bottom, the now becoming ubiquitous lightning connector, nothing on the left-hand side. On the top, 3.5 millimeter headset jack, noise canceling mic, power and lock button, continuing our tour, profile switcher for switching profiles, and volume up and down. Let's go ahead and power this guy on and take a first look. Alright, so we got the iPad mini all powered up and ready to be used, and on first impression it feels really nice in the hand. The small bezel is a little bit odd to get used to, but it certainly wouldn't take very much time, and it's supposedly going to ignore your thumbs if they're touching it on the side. It's great for one-handed use as well. Upon booting it up and using it, you'll definitely note, especially if you're used to living in Retina worlds, if you had a 4, a 4S, or a new iPad, you will definitely be aware of the lower resolution screen. But it's certainly readable. Text still looks very clear when you zoom in, and it seems to be relatively fast as well if you go ahead and move around. No problems. Go ahead and go home. Take a look at a few other things here. We'll go into settings. It's all typical iPad. It looks exactly the same, just shrunk on down. I'll go ahead and go out of that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the keyboard. See how that looks on a much smaller iPad. So this is almost akin to typing, especially in portrait mode, on a very large phone. Consider this the size of the Galaxy Note 4. Very familiar typing experience. It works very well. The keys are definitely smaller. When you flip it on over into landscape mode, pretty easy to use there as well. So you're not going to have any sort of difficulty. First impressions though, it feels really nice to hold. I was a little bit dubious about a smaller size and how it was going to work, but it really feels nice. This guy is definitely going to sell quite a few copies. But of course we'll put it through the test, let you know what we think, compare it to the outgoing models, at least of the new iPad or 3rd generation iPad. And speaking of which, let's bring that in for a real quick size comparison. You can see intergenerational family portrait. And you can see the size difference here between the two. So quite a difference when it comes to screen size. If you're looking for a less expensive iPad, maybe one that you want to use in bed or that's lighter for traveling, this is going to be a great option. It really, really feels light. At 0.68 pounds, it almost feels like it's lost in your hand. So let us know below what you want to see, anything in particular, and what you think about the iPad mini. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Check us out at technobuffalo.com for the latest and greatest tech news. I am John Rettinger, and I'll see you in the next video.